I'm gonna go through this question, which is taken from the Math Studies book. It's quite an interesting question just because it uses a different form of the nth term formula, and it also uses different letters. So it tests you on whether you understood the concepts or not. So it gives you the nth term of an arithmetic sequence as such, and I've explained that sometimes they would simplify the formula that we have to get to this form. So we can know that the common difference is -3, but we don't know what the first term is. So you can't use this to actually answer the first part of the question, which is calculate the values of the first two terms of the sequence. First two terms means that n is equal to 1 and n is equal to 2, which is easy. You can substitute it here. You want to find u1 and u2. So you're gonna easily just match. If you want u1, then if you substitute 1 in here, then you need to put 1 in here. And if you substitute 2 in here, then you have to substitute 2 in here. This is just me trying to show you how you can interpret these formulas. So for part A, quite straightforward. You're gonna go u1 is 42 minus 3, 1. That will give you 42 minus 3, which is 39. And for u2, you're just going to substitute 2. So you're going to get 42 minus 6, and that will give you 36. So quite straightforward, and you can easily check that your common difference between u1 and u2 is -3. So if I lay it out u1, u2, you have 39, 36. So the difference is -3, which is why we have a -3 here. So that was quite easy. But for part B, it asks you which term of the sequence is -9. So which term of the sequence is -9 means they're asking for the position. So -9 is in the sequence, but we need to know which term. So we've done this video previously, and I've called it the term position. So it's finding the term or finding the position, either wording. So in this case, you're going to use the formula. So we know that -9 exists. We just don't know what position it's in. And if you want to know the position or the term of the sequence, then you're referring to the n that you're trying to find. But we know at a specific n, it's -9. And so you just simply solve this. So you get -9 minus 42 is equal to -3. Obviously, you can move the -3 instead and move the -9. So that would give me -51 equals to -3n. And then we divide by -3. So the negatives cancel out, and we're going to get, and that would be 17. So n is 17, and you can check your answer. If I substitute 17 into here, -3 times 17 would give me -51, and then 42 minus 15 would give me -9. So if we go to the third part, it tells you that two consecutive terms of the sequence is uk and uk plus 1, and they have a sum of 33. Find k. As soon as they bring in their letters, students get a bit confused, but all this is telling you is that I have a way of describing two consecutive terms. If I have u3, then my consecutive term would be u4. If I have u12, then my consecutive term will be u13. All I'm doing is doing 3 plus 1, 12 plus 1, so I'm using the previous number plus 1. So if uk is one of my numbers, then the next consecutive one is uk plus 1. So it's just a way of describing a term. So the best thing to do in this situation, even if you're stuck, is to just use this information, use the letters they've given you, and just substitute it in. uk would just be me going 42 minus 3k. As I said, you will match the numbers here with the number that you have to substitute in n, so uk. uk plus 1 would then be 3 brackets k plus 1. because you need to substitute this whole thing with a long algebraic expression, and you have to put brackets if you're substituting something long. I could be substituting my name in here, then I'm going to put brackets in there. So this is a bit long, so I'm going to expand and simplify. So I'm going to get 42 minus 3k minus 3, and that would simplify to 39 minus 3k. So now I have two ways. I have a way of expressing this term and the term next to it. So I have a way of describing them, especially if I don't know what these numbers are, what k is. But if I substitute anything in here, let's ignore the sum of 33 now, just so I can explain this part. If I tell you if I say k is 3, then I substitute it in here. I go 42 minus 3, 3, so that's 42 minus 9, and that's going to give me 33. And if I go k plus 1, let's say I don't know k plus 1, let me substitute the same 3 in here. So this is u3. The next number has to be u4. So I could easily get it if I substitute 4 in the previous number here. But if I use 3 and I substitute it in this thing that we found, 39 minus 3, 3, I get 39 minus 9, which is 30. And if you notice, it still follows the rule that we found, which is you're subtracting 3 to get to the next term, just as we did from the first to the second term. So this was 39 and then 36. You are subtracting 3 to get to the next term, but I got to 30, I got to u4 without having to substitute 4 in here. All I did was substitute 3 in here. So I could do this for anything. If I substitute 12 in here and I substitute 12 again in here, this answer will be the next term, so it will be the answer for 13. So this is just a long way of explaining, well, I have two ways of expressing two numbers next to each other. I'll use the same k, substitute it in here, and then the same k to substitute in here, and I'm going to get the number and the number next to it. So just to go into long deep end. If you didn't understand this part, it's okay. But as long as if you get such a question, you just know what's happening. That's why I'm going into such details. Now, I have two ways of expressing uk and uk plus 1. If you understand up to here, that's good enough. They both have a sum of 33. So if I add them together, uk plus 1, they should give me 33. Well, I have a way of expressing them. uk is just 42 minus 3k. And uk plus 1 is 39 minus 3k. It wouldn't be useful if I used another letter like h, because then I would have two unknowns. So that's why we've used k plus 1 to describe the next one, so on. So 33. And that's how you can easily solve this equation now. So we're going to just combine the like terms. So 42 plus 39 would give you 81. And then you have negative 3 and negative 3. So that would give you negative 6k equals to 33. So moving things around, you get this. And that will be 48 is equal to 6k, and so we have k is equal to 48 over 6, which is 8. What this means is that if I substitute 8 in here and 8 in here, then I'm going to get u8 and I'm going to get u9. Which means u8 and u9 are the numbers that if I add them together, they're going to give me 33. And you can easily check your answer by just substituting 8 in this formula, get the term, substitute 9 in this formula, get the term, add them together. Does it give you 33? Then yes, you've done it correctly. And all they want here is that k is equal to 8. So just one of the questions that are a bit unusual, but they rely on the fact that you understand how terms and sequences operate.